Hey guys, it's Alicia, and I'm back with yet another of my favorite homeschool resources. And today we are talking about biographies, and not just any biographies, but the who was / who is, what is series that's catered towards kids. You've probably seen these before. They have the big-headed people on the front. Anyway, there's an exhaustive library of lots of different people, places, and things, buildings mostly, that it's a great introduction, social studies / history studies. So I'll go into how we use it and some of our favorites. I asked my kids what their favorites were, and they pulled out Leonardo da Vinci. What was NASA? Thank you, Bethany. This was a gift. Thank you, girlfriend. Marie Antoinette and Ronald Reagan. And believe it or not, my kiddo who is named Reagan, this is not her favorite book. This is her favorite book. And she wanted me to tell you guys that she's read it about 4 or 5 times. That's how much she likes it. Anywho, they are great, really thorough introductory readers on people and places. And they have some cool little illustrations and pullouts throughout the book. And we really enjoy them. This is our personal home collection. And as you should already know if you've seen previous videos, when books are little, I like to group them. When books are not little and they just have something to do with each other, I like to group them. But anyway, we have a who was that I've labeled it with my handy dandy labeler. This is our who was collection, and I have some My Americas behind it, but I'll talk about that in a minute. This is what we have at home, but we've consumed many more of them because I checked them out from the library on the Libby app. I have audiobooks and ebooks are both checked out from the library, and the audiobooks for who was are very short and concise. You can listen to one in about 45 minutes to an hour, so it's really good driving fare, something you can listen to while you're in the car, and they're not overwhelming for relatively new readers or those with shorter attention spans. So we really enjoyed them. I will give this disclaimer that there are some subjects you're going to want to pre-read or pre-listen to them if you're sensitive to certain subjects or you don't want to introduce certain subjects to your children, which is typically the case with us, and because there's some subject matter that couldn't be considered adult subject matter in some of them. For example, and again, disclaimer, this is not an exhaustive list. So please, you pre-read them. Don't count on me to pre-read them. But so in the Queen Victoria book, they talk about divorce and second husbands and things like that. And in What Was the Holocaust, they talk about other persecuted peoples during the Holocaust, including GLBT people who were persecuted during the Holocaust. So if that's a concept that you don't want to broach with your children, or you want to at least be prepared to know that you need to deal with it, heads up. In some of these books, they're not completely free from adult subject matter. But that said, most of the stuff, it's nothing objectionable in terms of bad attitudes and things like that. And again, just the pure array of what all is available is really cool. I'll scan through someone, and it was really cute. There is I don't know if he still does it, but there was a young man who was doing classical conversations, and for classical conversations they cycled through doing different histories and learning, like 1 year is all about American history, 1 year is all about ancient history, 1 year is all about medieval history. And what he would do is gather around all the relevant who was books and put them in a box set according to whatever cycle they were on. So I thought that was really great and entrepreneurial. If he's still doing it and I can find his link, I will link him, because I just love kids who are about providing quality services and goods and services. And that's one thing that homeschool kids have the time to be able to do, and that is be entrepreneurial. So I'm here for it. I want to support this one. As you can see, Half Price Books is my thing in person. I like me some Half Price books, but okay, I think you get the point. That's who was. We also have other biographies, and this is, I got a set of library books from, I think it was Thrift Books. It was, anyway, this whole set was former library books. My kids have not latched onto these as much as these just yet, but I've assigned a couple. They're bearable. Your kids might like them better, and my thing is sometimes they're going to like what they read, sometimes they're not. But if it's something that I want them to read, guess what you got to do? You're going to have to read it. So these are the My American. These are historical fiction, which I still think, my major was history. I still think that historical fiction is one of the best ways to immerse yourself in a time period and really understand what the people were going through, and his story or her story, whatever the story of the people is, to really get into somebody's head. And most of these are letters or written in I can't say the word, the epistle. They're like epistles. Like, not just epistles are not just for the Bible and the letters that Paul wrote, but epistles are like Color Purple is an epistle book. It's a letter-based book. A lot of these are letter-based, and they have young people in different time periods, but all starting, from the Pilgrim time up through, I don't know what my most recent one is. See, but they have, again, a lot of different kiddos from a lot of different backgrounds, but all that kind of weave the cloth that is America. 1883, that's the latest one that I have, but I'm sure they go past 1883. And then they have some, I know we had a Queen Nzinga one that was not My America, but the same publishers. Anyway, same publishers. That's a resource. Again, I got that super cheap as a package deal. They are ugly. They are ugly, not because the book was ugly, but they're former library books, and they have stickers on them, and they're beaten up. And guess what? I don't care, because the words still read. That's what matters. The words still read. So I am not a book snob in that my books have to be pristine, because that's foolish of me to think that they're going to stay that way with my 4 kids, because my 4 kids have grubby hands, and I'd rather them put their grubby hands on a book and read it than have a pristine looking book that was not read. So last thing I'm going to cover on biographies, and this is not a review, this is just something that I found that I'm excited about. I just got them. I was going to save them for Christmas gifts, but I couldn't wait, so I pulled them out. And that's Courageous World Changers and Brave Heroes and Bold Defenders. And I found these on Amazon. And these, if you can see, it says 50 true stories of daring women of God and 50 true stories of daring men of God. And above all else, our values, Christianity and following Christ specific, more than just Christianity, but following Christ is paramount and of first importance for our family. So I like to get my kids familiar with and reading about people who modeled that in their lives, so they can relate and see it and kind of see some past. And hopefully I'll be one of those people too. But jury's still out. I need his help. Anywho, thank you guys. If you have any biographies or any suggestions for me, put them in the comments. I am looking forward to hearing what you have to say, and like I said, any suggestions. That's what I wanted to know. If you have suggestions on what you would like me to cover, or questions about our 10-year plus homeschool journey, I am feeling open bookish. So just ask me questions and I will answer them. And hopefully you can learn some things, not the hard way like I had to, or I'm lying. I didn't learn everything the hard way, because I was fortunate to be able to talk to other homeschoolers that went before me. So anyway, it's time for me to tie this to and pay it forward. So yeah, just ask me what you want to ask me. Bye. See you tomorrow.